Hello, everybody. This is Evan. I'm going to spin another quick story for you. I remember a couple of years ago, I was in India near one of the great rivers, the Ganges, and I had a conversation with this wise man. You could meet these men anywhere, and they're very open and they tell you things. And he told me of this place, this very sacred place where there's kind of a monastery where all of the monks, they meditate there all day and they repeat these mantras. And the women of the village, when they want to have children, if they can't find, a good man, they always go to this monastery to bother the men. And they say, oh, please, just once, you can lay with me so that I have a child, and my child will have very good karma, especially coming from a monk like you. And so these women, they were kind of cheaters. And in this world, he says, cheaters are always cheated because they find each other. If you want to cheat, you'll find somebody to cheat you, always. And so these women were kind of like that, and they really weren't interested in religion or what religion meant, but they just wanted to sleep with a monk in order to have a child whom they believed would have excellent karma. So, how did it work out? Cheaters who were not actually monks, who were just like normal guys that were interested in having a good time, would dress themselves up as monks. And they would pretend that they were repeating mantras, and they would walk around with their prayer beads, and they would hang around these monasteries. And when the women would show up, these men would say, oh yes, I'm one of the great yogis here. And of course they would do their thing, and the women would get pregnant and have a child, and that's how it went. And the man said, you see, the men are cheaters, the women are cheaters, and so they find each other in this world. And it happened to me once, because I was very naive, and I really believe people. If somebody tells me something, I believe them. I never think that they're lying to me or just deceiving me in any way. Because, I don't know. I don't do this to people. I don't lie or deceive people. I just tell people this is how it is and that's it. And so when I was living in Crimea, I was always asking Galia and some of the other people that were teaching me, Russian, that were older than me. I was like, when is my destiny, when is my fate going to be revealed to me? Because everything has already been revealed to you. And you guys have everything. You have house, you have family, you have kids. You have, good jobs, you guys have everything. But me, I'm 25 years old and I still don't have anything, in the sense that I don't know what my destiny is. I don't know what my fate is. And I'm at the age right now where I want to get married and I want to find a really, really good woman, but I can't do it here. And they're like, well, this is a very small village, but you should go to Moscow. And as soon as you go to Moscow, you'll find something. As soon as you go to Moscow, Moscow is a city that has something for everybody. So they told me to do that. Just like my brother, if somebody tells me to do something, I do it. So that's exactly what I did. I bought a one-way ticket to Russia. And when we got to Moscow, I got out. And when I was here, I was looking around, and that was the problem. I was looking for my fate and destiny, but I thought I was going to find it and grab it by myself. I didn't think that you had to be ready for something like this, inwardly. First, you had to prepare yourself inwardly in order for something like this to happen. So I had not yet prepared myself inwardly. So outwardly, I was running around trying to find something. And I went to clubs, I went to bars, I went to English clubs, all of these places. Couldn't find anybody. Nothing. I was like, no, I can't be with anybody. I was like, man, I don't know why. Finally, I went to this Russian Orthodox church, and I put down a candle, and I started praying to this icon. And I was prayed to the icon, to God through the icon. I was like, please reveal to me my destiny. It's time for me to begin something. But still, nothing happened. And I looked over to the left, and there was a woman there, very pious, head covered, and she was also praying to an icon, putting a candle down. So I followed her out of the church. And when we got outside, I said to her, who are you praying to if it's not, a secret? And she said, oh no, I was just praying for my family and this. And I said, you're a believer? She said, oh, yes, I'm a believer. I said, well, would you like to get a cup of tea? Maybe we'll talk. So she said, yes, sure. So we went to a cafe. We started striking up a conversation. And I thought that, yeah, this girl, she's the real thing. I think that's been the problem, is I've never really met a believer. All of these other girls that I met, they're party girls. They like pleasure, they like the party, constant entertainment. They need to go here, they need to go here. They have to go to the movies. After that, they have to go to dancing. After that, they have to go to some expensive restaurant. All of these needs and needs. And as soon as you don't fulfill one of these needs, it's like, oh, boom, relationship's over. And so these relationships that I've had with these kind of girls, yeah, it's disastrous. Why? Because because the senses can never, ever, ever be filled. And so the needs just keep piling up and up and up. And here I thought, wow, I finally found somebody that's the exact opposite. Somebody that's very pious. Somebody that's taken, ancient wisdom for tens of thousands of years, and they actually live their life according to these rules. So I thought, yeah, I finally found the real thing. So I started up a relationship with this woman, and I thought, yeah, this is the one. This is going to be the one that I'm going to marry. But again, I was very naive, and I thought that the way that she was behaving and this and that was actually the way she was. It was only later on that I figured out that she was putting on a show, and she was putting on a show for me. And she saw that I was a certain way, and in order to keep me, she would have to behave in this certain way, and then that I would be with her if she kept this up. But anyway, she wasn't being herself. And I realized this 2 or 3 months later. And after about 2 or 3 months of the relationship, I started to notice that she really wasn't pious at all. In fact, she didn't know anything about religion. She didn't know what she believed in. And this whole role that she was playing as a very pious girl, like a true believer, was just a show that she was putting on for me. And it wasn't really the way that she was. And when a person does this, it can only last, so long. Eventually, the true you is going to come out. And that's exactly what happened. I was totally, totally tricked. And I admit this. And it's because I was so naive. And I'm still a little bit naive in the sense that I believe everything that people tell me. So if somebody tells me something, well, that's your word. And if you give me your word, I'm going to believe it. Otherwise, don't give me a bad word, because then you have dirt on your hands. And so what happened is after 2 or 3 months, I would start coming home from work and I would see her and she would be smoking. And after seeing her smoking, she would be in the kitchen and she would invite these, her friends over, and they would all be having these drinking parties, and they would be smoking and drinking, and then use of bad language. And just one thing led to another thing, that led to another thing. And I thought, wow, this is not the same person that I met 3 months ago. And then after 4 months, it even got worse. And I said to her, why were you playing like this whole time? Like, why are you telling me that you're this way when actually you have nothing to do with any of these qualities or values that you said you were in the very beginning? And yes, she told me, she said, I did it because I wanted our relationship to work, but I realized, no, I can't be this way, because this isn't the way that I am. It would be like a fish trying to behave like a boar. Can't do it. So, short conclusion to the story. If you're living a lie, or if you're living in some kind of situation where you're pretending to be something that you're not, nothing really good will come from it. Eventually you will be found out, and people will understand who the true you, really is. On the other hand, if you're just 100% sincere and honest, with your partner, or whoever it is with, or whoever it is you work with, or with your students, or even your family, if you're 100% sincere and open, then you'll always have a good result. You'll always be accepted, and you'll never find yourself in this situation where things just get worse and worse and worse. Hope you enjoyed the story. Thanks.